Hey, what's up everyone, friends of B2K Italy. In today's video we're gonna talk about the big, the bad, the ugly, the infamous Jace the Mind Sculptor. It's now legal in Modern since Monday, and we're gonna cover a little bit of drama and problems that have been going on in YouTube and other social media, claiming that Jace is gonna destroy Modern or is gonna be very cancerous for the format. And I'm doing this video to answer all those claims and all those statements, proposing my idea, my thoughts about him. And today's video is gonna be divided in two parts. The first one is gonna be about Jace itself, so we're gonna talk a little bit about the card, what it does, and the second part will be covering all the variety of decks where he's lots in. So without further ado, let's bring Jace out. As we can see, the card is pretty much a planeswalker card. It's a 4-drop, 2 mana plus 2 blue for a planeswalker with 3 loyalty. So it's gonna start at Bolt range, and you can +2 for Fate Stealing, or you can take a look at your opponent or because it says target player, so it could be either you or your opponent, and you can decide pretty much if you would like to keep the target player's card on top or put on the bottom of the library. The zero ability is perhaps the most powerful Jace has printed. It's pretty much a brainstorm. You draw 3 cards and then put back 2 on top of your library. And it enables a card like Miracles that trigger on the first card draw for the turn. The -1 ability is pretty much an unsummon, and the finisher it's pretty much game over because it's gonna exile the whole deck. And I've seen a lot of concession the turn before is gonna ultimate, so it's pretty much effective and everyone knows it. Anyway, even if no one could deny the power level of Jace, Modern is full of great cards like Liliana, Karn, Dark Confidant, Snapcaster Mage, or Cryptic Command, and I can go on and on. And in my opinion, Jace will end among those cards, a very powerful one, but just very good for the format. Another statement I've heard in the past few days was about the people at Wizard of the Coast trying to cash grabbing you with the reprinting of Jace the Mind Sculptor because he is gonna be the front-facing man of the upcoming Masters 25. So they were afraid of not being able to sell those packs with a high price tag because you're gonna sell for $10 and there is no change of the currency because even in Europe and in Italy they will be sold for 10 euros, so a high price tag. And of course they were afraid of offering just a legacy staple, since legacy is a powerful format and well known, but unfortunately not a lot of people play legacy, and instead Modern is a very popular format. So this is an opportunity for them to unban it and sell a lot of packs. Right now his price tag is 70 euros in Europe, around, of course, is an average, and in America, in US, around 150, so it's very expensive. But because of the reprint we're gonna see in Masters 25, the price has not gone bonkers because it could have very easily. So it has both positive and negative, let's say, side of this policy of unbanning. Of course, if you're able to find from the Vault 20, it's a great deal because you're gonna find from the Vault foiling Jace. That I like the foiling process because they are metallic, they're perhaps a little bit warped. A lot of people are claiming that and are bordered from that because they don't want those kind of foils, but believe me, it's a great deal, and you have Jace and other 19 cards that are a staple from Commander, so it's always a great deal in my opinion. On the second part of the video, I would like to do a little rebuttal on some statement that I have seen around saying that Jace will diminish or decrease the variety of the format. And thus, Jace is very powerful, and we already covered during this video, but we know also that he's not very splashable, so not a lot of player could embrace the power of this Planeswalker, because to commit your mana base to have double blue on turn 4, not an easy task for any deck. And of course, it will limit the range of deck able to play Jace. Pretty much they were gonna be control strategies and mid-range strategies, and we're gonna talk a little bit about later. Right now, everybody is trying to brew with Jace in their deck, so they took simply their favorite deck. So it could be Counters Company, we've seen Slivers, Death and Taxes, many other decks that have nothing to do with Jace, trying to slam it somewhere in their 75. This is the wrong way to use Jace, in my opinion, because Jace is better suited for control decks, for mid-range decks. So a deck that is already built around a strategy that is very powerful and very straightforward. You will have to bring the long game and take control over the game itself after a long time. So you have to stabilize first, and then you can turn the corner and win the game. With a powerful threat. That could be Jace or other Planeswalker, instance, or simply Bolt Knock Bolt plus attack. And that's why I believe that after a lot of brews that we're gonna see around, only a few decks will still have Jace as the main threat. And which are those decks that I believe are gonna success with Jace? First of all, we already saw in the previous video UVR control, my build of Jeskai control. Then we'll see some kind of UV control, so Azorius, that will try to use its top-out strategy to play powerful enchantment, instants, and sorcery, of course, to take over the game. And some kind of strange brews like the one that Saffron Olive take out a couple of days ago, that is Turbulence. It's not strategy, not one of the main out there, and it aims to make land drop, use and abuse of some kind of strange creatures that allow you to do multiple land drops a turn, to pretty much play Jace on turn 2, on turn 3, and take over the game from there. And lastly, I can see some kind of brews with Sultai colors that will play with both Jace and Liliana, that will be helped by Tarmogoyf to close out the games. After that, we will see probably a lot of decks where Broadbraid and Jace will overlap. That's why the Elf could cascade into Ancestral Vision, so a lot of Timur brews will be around, and they will be very powerful because they could embrace even Blood Moon. And of course John, because John is one of the best home for the Elf. So this will be my idea for the new meta, pretty much full of control strategies and mid-range strategies, and all the other decks that are viable right now will still be viable and very powerful, but they have to adapt a little bit to answer, to respond to the decks we covered in this video. So pretty much what I think, it will be a return of Bolt over Fatal Push, because it's a blank cascade from the Elf, and it could answer a Brainstorm from Jace. And that's why I believe that Modern is so wide and so diverse right now that you can play whatever you want, and I don't think it's gonna change even with Jace and Broadbraid in the format, just because they are powerful. But we have already a lot of powerful card in the format, and they haven't limit the thing we can do. And so I believe there will be a lot of new decks to explore, a lot of new interaction that we don't already know. For instance, another card that is going crazy right now is Disruption Shoal, because guys, this could be very powerful to protect Jace for free as a semi-force of will, but we don't know if it's gonna work. It's just a brew, and that's fantastic. This is pretty much my disclaimer to all the problems, the complaining around Jace and his unbanning. So that's it for today's video. I hope you like it. If so, smash the like button. You can also subscribe and let me know if you want other videos in English on different subjects. You let me know everything, and stay tuned.